I feel I have started over my life many times, and I made a lot of mistakes along the way. But I'm here to learn and grow. I feel to share my story of finally finding purpose in my life again. But how I got to this point was a really long process, and this process I feel to share with you too, in this video. Feel free to share a message and say how you feel after watching this video. I would love to hear from you. So, hey there! I'm really gonna just give you a very short overview of my life to see like how did I get here or ended up here. I'm now in a beautiful place in the south of France, and we are living in a cabin, and we're having a lot of time and space to get overviews on our lives. So we're gonna make this video, both of us, Tiana and me. I think we're doing it now at the same time simultaneously, so that's nice, but on a different place. A short overview, like how was I when I was younger, I would say, and start around when I was a teenager. I was really not into school at all. I didn't like going to school. I preferred just doing a lower class because I didn't have to study. I just could hang out with my friends and being on the streets and during the night times and the weekends, and I was just really not into that. Then after that I had a time in my life that it was quite harsh. I had an ex-boyfriend who was a drug addict, which was quite a rough time in my life, I would say. I was not going to school, and I was really trying to take care of him or of us, but yeah, that just didn't really work out. I chose to say goodbye to this guy. A lot had happened during that time. So after that period of time, I was going to school again, and I think I got a little bit more serious about school. I was really pretty insecure actually going to school and studying marketing and communication. I didn't feel I could really just study the certain like level that I was studying, but I tried, and I did manage. And I became very serious about studying, I think, because after that study I did another study, and which was more about multimedia design in another like university. I was just really normal, like I was very comfortable in my way of living in terms of having everything we need or everything I needed. I was just living with my boyfriend and having 2 cats and just in a regular house, and just everything was very normal. But at the other hand, I had a lot of anxiety, and I was facing a lot of depression, and I think I didn't have my mind quite right. Was quickly overwhelmed and busy, and then I was going to the psychiatrist, and they said all kinds of things to me and give me medication, and just to be like, and then I was okay again, and with the therapy, and then I was falling back again in depression, and then I was okay again, and then I had depression again, and it was just really a cycle going on all the time. And I think it had to do with myself a lot. I had a lot of negative thoughts and anxieties, and so that was quite a challenging time. But there was a light, I would say, and the light was another very huge challenge. But it started when I was going still to school, studying, living with my boyfriend, and I was having the capability to do like a 6 months that I could choose something else, which is like a specializing part of your study, or you're gonna just choose something completely different. So I chose the minor, which is called a minor. This study was about innovation. So I chose that, and I went to there, and there were a lot of classmates, and all from different kinds of backgrounds, like people from ICT, or people from engineering, or just economy, and like all different things, putting together into one class. And we have companies. So these companies are having a question which is about innovation. Like, you are gonna go as a group of 2 students, gonna solve this innovation problem of the company. So you're going to all the companies, and they are gonna say like their subject. And there was one company that was really special, because this company was not about like I would like you to innovate me, or like I would like you to innovate my company. They said like, I would like you to innovate yourself. So I chose that company, and I started with another student on that subject. And it was quite interesting, because they said, I would like you to innovate yourself, see all the things that you love to do, or what your passions are, and see what you feel to contribute to this world with it. You know, what does the world really need, and what can you give as a person to this world, you know? And suddenly, like, my whole life turned basically upside down, and I became aware of a lot of things, because I had to start with, what do I actually like, you know? Why am I doing this study again? And I was thinking about it, and then I found out like I did this study because my sister did something similar, and I did a lot of online tests about my personality that said like, oh, this would be a nice thing for you to study. And I just went on with that, and that was the reason I did that study, not because of the questions that this company asked me. So it was a huge eye-opener for me, because I started to become aware about things like, why did I chose the things that I've chosen? Why did I ended up here? And what am I gonna do next? You know, whoa, okay, what does this world actually need? And if you see that subject and thinking about like, what does this world need, you have to look at the world as it is. So I'm gonna put my sweater on, because the sun is getting down. It's getting quite chilly here. Wow. Oh, they are really nice. Nice things. Nice nature here. So I will continue the story with that I got the question, what does this world need? And I still had to go and look then, like, what does the world need? I had to open my eyes and see how the world is, to figure out what the world needs and how could I be a contribution with my passions to give something to the world in terms of what it needs, not like to do whatever I like, but that I had to have a contribution, because like everything we do has an impact. And it was so nice because I started to see my life more meaningful. And I have been so much long time on this quest, like I had so many questions. I started to figure out trying out a bunch of things, because there was this 6 months, basically almost, that I got the opportunity to do whatever I felt to do. I could choose what I was like, it was open. So then I was with another student, 6 months, figuring out on many different ways who we are, or what do we feel passionate about, or what are our interests, and how could we give something to the world. And I think it was quite a challenge for me in that time, because there was so many more questions coming, and more questions, and more. It was quite even overwhelming in a way, but it was an adventure, really an adventure. I think there was even one time that we got to go on our bicycle and just go wherever we felt to go, and finding a place to sleep and just be, and seeing the signs of the universe around us. And that was quite challenging for me. Like, I have been then in quite some maybe uncomfortable situations, because I never have experienced something like that. I remember me saying like, I don't see the purpose of this, just go home. Never really realizing that I would be the one that's gonna live in a camper van alone, traveling wherever I felt. But yeah, it did have an impact, even though it felt very uncomfortable at that time. Just gonna take a breath. So during this time, I felt to do a sunset meditation. And this is the moment where me and Tiana have met in the meadow in the Netherlands. I was really asking myself, like, are there people that I could talk to, Like, I started to have many questions and I started to dig deeper, but I didn't have anyone to talk to, or that could understand me, or people just saying to me like, no, that's too deep, and can we just not talk something easy or something like that. And I was really looking for that response, like, is there someone I can talk to, or do I have to do this all by myself? And during that sunset meditation, I met Tiana, and I was so lucky and grateful and happy that I have met him, because I had finally someone to talk to. So we spent many long nights looking at the stars and watching the sunset, and having a lot of conversations about life that were very important to me, because he was already longer into this subject. He was already thinking about life much more, being more aware about life than I was at that time. So it was so helpful for me, and it made me aware about a lot of things. And I even remember myself writing a letter to him saying that, like, slowly everything that he has told me will reveal itself, like there was so much information I could not process in that time. So it took time, and even like a half a year later, I was like, now I understand what he meant saying something like that to me. So that was really an eye-opener for me. And I was even at the point like, man, I really feel to stop studying, Why am I studying this? And I should just do something else, and just, this is not the thing I should do. And I felt to stop studying. And then I realized, like, if I stop studying now, I would have more study depth than if I finish my study. So I was in these two things, like kind of crazy, that you have to study and you get a depth, and if you are gonna finish your study, you have less depth. So they are really pushing you to finish your study. So I was thinking like, okay, I think I'm just gonna finish it. So how am I gonna do it? Because I don't want to continue the way that I was living then. So I had to make a change. There has to be something else. So what are you gonna do now? So I was wondering a lot, walking in the fields of the Netherlands, like, what do I feel to do, Where do I feel to go? Back in my hair. So where do I feel to go? And then I was like, yeah, I would love to go to India and do this graduation in India. So I looked online and I replied some, and I got nothing back, and I was like, oh man, what am I gonna do? I don't want to stay here in the Netherlands. I have to do something else. I have to make a big change, because I have to just do something else, So then I was going to this point that I was like, I know somebody or a man who was doing this minor for the 6 months, and he had a lot of connections in Suriname, so I guess I'm just gonna send him a message, because he just really appeared to me in my vision. I was like, I'm gonna have to ask him. So I did, and I got connected to a man who lived in Suriname and who was from the Netherlands, who had this project for me that I could do. So I was like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. It was a project that I was going to make a gamified e-learning, like an online learning module, which was about information for workers about safety. And I was like, okay, it's okay for me. It sounds like it's fitting, and let's just do that, because I had to finish this study and I had to do something else and I had to make a change and I had to just be out of the Netherlands. So I went there to Suriname for approximately 7 months doing this graduation project. Still being somewhere in my mind with these pieces like what I had during this minor, which was about what I felt to contribute to this world. So I was there and I started to do more things. Like I was there were a lot of girls in a house, and they were a lot of about doing like an internship for the hospital and stuff, and they were really into just partying and having fun and drinking, and with all the students which were from the Netherlands. So it felt like there was a bunch of people from the Netherlands collected as a country, as a young country in Suriname. So I was like, no, I'm not feeling at home here. This is not where I should be. I should just do something else and just go somewhere else, because I just don't fit here. I don't feel to party. I had questions about life that I will not go solve in that way. So I got connected to a woman. She was living more like out of the city, more inland, and in a very beautiful house, and having a bed and breakfast, and like living more self-sufficient. And I went there, I stayed there, I worked on a project even with her. So here I was in a beautiful house in the middle of nature in Suriname, and meeting a lot of new people, and more being connected with the locals, because I really felt to see and experience the culture that there, and not that I was living with all these Netherlands Dutch students, and didn't get anything to do with the country and the culture and how they are living. So I was still interested in all these topics, and one of the things that was really clear to me was sustainability and like a no waste society. And this project that I did with this woman who was living in that house was about banana fiber, which is a fiber that is from the banana tree. So you have the banana trees built out of a lot of leaves, and those leaves are having a fiber, and this fiber you can handcraft many things with that. You can make clothing out of them, you can weave bags and baskets and just a lot of things. And in Suriname they are really used as a waste product, and they didn't have really a meaning besides just being burned or just being like compost or whatever. So they had a machine to make the fiber into a workable product, and then the local like the really Indian people who were living inland were gonna make bags out of them, and those bags were just as a replacement of the plastic bag that we are using and throwing away all the time, and it would be more sustainable, made with a product that was seen as waste. So I did that project, and then there was another friend of mine that I was really close to, and helping setting up a company for going on a tour inland to all the indigenous people who were living there, and like tourists could learn and experience about their way of living. And like I made a whole website and a map, and just seeing all the possibilities where tourists could go and experience more of the culture in Suriname. So this was the other project, and then the graduation project. So I did 3 projects, and I still had these life questions, and which was really about like, what am I gonna do next, And I was really like, I'm doing so many projects right now for other people, and seeing where I could help, and many things, that I was really forgetting about myself. Like, okay, what am I gonna do? I just finished, I graduated there in Suriname, I did these projects, and Kimberly, what are you gonna do next? And I was so overworked by these projects that I was like, I have to stop them. I have to quit those projects and focus really on what I feel to do with my life, and putting my energy or investing my energy more in myself than in others or in other projects. So I have to build a sustainable future, So I stopped with studying because I have graduated, and then I was still in Suriname. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to India. That will be cool. And I was like, I'm gonna travel, I'm gonna do volunteering work, I'm gonna learn about their culture, and yeah, that would be nice. I remember me even looking for like plane tickets, and the plane tickets were from Suriname really expensive, and I had to stop and stop and stop before I was in India. So I was like, it would be better for me to fly back to the Netherlands and go from there to India, because that was just like a step in between and I could prepare and anything like that. So I really just booked a ticket to the Netherlands and I was like, shit, man. If I go to India, I'm just gonna be there, do volunteering work, and spending a lot of my money there and having no money left. What are you gonna do then? And I was like, okay, then I have to go back to the Netherlands to earn money again or whatever. And I was really like, I have so much questions. Where am I gonna find the time? I'm sure if I would have chosen going to India and going to travel, doing volunteering work, I didn't have the time, and I was again spending all my time and energy on projects of others. So this is where I decided, like, I'm gonna make a change in my life. I'm gonna make a change that is more sustainable, more permanent, and more focused on spending my time and energy in myself. And spending my time to see what I feel to contribute to this world, because I still didn't know. So that's when I was back in the Netherlands again, and buying a camper van or just a van and build it into a camper van. And besides that, I was working, trying to save and collect money for this journey. So I did do that, building my own camper van. Like, I never did something like that. I didn't know how to do it at all. I don't even know where I found this confidence to do it and just be like, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna build this van. One thing for sure, I had one example, and that was Tiana, who already built his camper van, and I saw that, and it really inspired me, and I think really encouraged me, like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna manage this. So I built it myself, even although a lot of people in my environment were really doubting my abilities and saying I should just go and talk to that guy because he knew about working with wood or anything like that. And I didn't do that. I did it all by myself. I remember my sister helping me one day. That really didn't work out because I put more energy in explaining her what to do than then that I could just better do it myself. So, but it was nice of her trying. So, yeah, I was pretty like a lone wolf, I think. Then I was spending a lot of time walking, thinking, seeing like how am I gonna do next, dreaming about the camper van and seeing like how am I gonna make this in construction. And I had quite some struggles and quite some challenges and ideas in mind that didn't work out. And well, it was really, really learnful experience. I think it took me also about 7 months to really go finally away with a camper van. So I went away with the camper van, going on this huge journey, and I felt like, you know what? I don't know how I can continue living in this way, because I had to pay the tax for the camper van. I had to go back for the car check. Maybe it needed some reparation, or like I was like, how am I gonna do all of this? Because I I'm going slowly to run out of money anyway, even though it's gonna go much slower than you go traveling in the way of going to hostels and stuff. So I was thinking about a lot of ideas, like how am I gonna earn money, how I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna do that, and thinking, like making a whole idea, like, okay, I'm gonna go make YouTube videos and I'm gonna maybe, yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that and see if I can make money out of that. I think I was actually pretty sure about this concept, like I'm gonna make videos and I'm gonna earn money with that and I'm gonna be able to live this way. And I felt to like buy a little cabin somewhere and focus on my art and creating paintings and sharing my story and stuff. And so I went away and I did a lot of volunteering work. I made a lot of videos, I think about 31 videos, and I was really believing like, okay, this is gonna have to work. And eventually it really just didn't work out the way I have imagined it. And I was considering like, okay, what am I gonna do now? Am I gonna stop making these videos, or am I gonna continue, or what am I gonna do? Like, why was I making these videos? Because like, I'm not gonna make them anymore to make money, because that's not gonna happen. So I really just was thinking like, yeah, I should continue making these videos, not because of earning money out of them, but because I had a lot of people, or quite some people, that were really nice responding to the videos and were really happy. And I think I was even a woman who sold her house and bought a camper van and built it, and she sent me a message that she saw my video. And I think that it really encouraged, that the videos really encouraged her to do that, and I felt very pleased about that. I'm like, yeah, that's really nice to make these videos, not to earn money with them, but just to be maybe a source of inspiration for somebody, because I felt inspired a lot of times that I made a huge change in my life. So I did that. I did continue making the videos. I made 31 videos now. I started still painting and thinking maybe I could sell my paintings, but I never actually did, or really not. I tried, but not really that I tried. I've just put them online, but it didn't work out also. And I met Tiana quite a few times during this time, and it really made me aware again, like, what am I doing? I'm making these YouTube videos, but I have this plan, I have this vision of life, but what was now really the goal, and what did this world need? And like the questions I had during this time. And I've created a lot of time to think and create a lot of space during my time alone in the camper van, that really helped me, because I was able to live closer to nature and really dig deeper into very important questions in my life, and meeting a lot of people living in another way. And like, it was pretty interesting, a really interesting time. And I started slowly getting closer to myself and dig deeper into the world and the concepts of the world and how the world is doing, and nature and our relationship with nature. And I started to see so many things, and I was like, yeah, what can I contribute, you know? Then I was really at this point like, I should just contribute what I can contribute. So what can I contribute? The things that I know, the things that I have learned so far during this journey. So I had many ideas, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave this idea. I'm just gonna leave money. I'm just gonna leave expectations. I'm just gonna leave my mind and let it just be free. Let it be open and see what I could give. And then I realized that I should give my life to life. And like, what does that mean? Like, still, I cannot really clearly tell you that, but one thing I know is that me and Tiana both had this idea, like he had already before, and I told him, like, yeah, I should just not think about myself, like what I want to do, or I want to live like this, or I want to earn money to continue living like this, or anything. I should just do it because it feels right, you know, because I have just the feeling that I contribute something, you know, even though I'm not getting something back, maybe in that way of how you would expect something to get back, or I'm just gonna give it, you know, I'm just gonna give it all. I'm just gonna give my life to life. And we both realized that at the same moment. And this is where another huge journey started. This is also where Be Alive for a Life is started, and it came to life basically. So I think I will end this video here, because if I continue, I can continue pretty much longer, and it's already 37 minutes, and I really feel that Be Alive for a Life is the beginning of a new life, is a new chapter, a new part of my life, where I started to finally see what I could do, or what we could do. So I think this is just a part of the story. There are, of course, many details that are left out of the picture, because then you can continue talking forever. But yeah, I think I managed to have some kind of overview or perspective of my life. And one thing just really important that I still feel to share is that believe in yourself. Like, you can do it, you can change, you can be happy, you can find yourself, you can refigure life, you can be open and free, and like, make your dreams come true, really, because it's such an important aspect that we follow our feeling and go where we go where we have to go, and everything will fall into place eventually. And we have to believe that, like, life has a lot of possibilities. Life is it's such a huge adventure. And I know that there are many insecurities. I had a lot of insecurities during this time too, about money, and like, how am I gonna manage to do whatever, and my, like, basically take care of my survival or myself, or, and it's just, if we're just gonna go for it and we're just gonna do it, we will find out that everything will fall into place. So we just have to start somewhere. I think this is also the thing with Be Alive for a Life. We just have to start somewhere and see, like, all the little changes, like I became in my campervan much more aware about nature and like what I felt to contribute in the sense of having respect for all the elements. And I think it just really helped me a lot to see the world not only through my perspective or my beliefs. I started to see the world more as it is, and if you start to see it like that, you are able to see through all the clouds where you feel to contribute or put your effort or change. I think put your change and change yourself for it, because there's still so much to gain in life, really, and so much to learn as a species, as being a human, how to live connected and live one. So thank you, really, really thank you for listening to this story. I hope I managed a little bit to have lighted up some of the important aspects. But I tried. I hope it worked. So, and I hope it maybe helps you in some point somewhere. So thank you, really thank you, and I hope to see you on Be Alive for Alive, the next parts of the journey.